Every now and then I see this comment left on some videos where somebody says, I tried rapid transformational therapy with somebody and it didn't work. So I wanted to make this 3-part video series about what might be going on if you've had an RTT session and you didn't get the results that you expected from it, and what might be going on and what you can do about it. My name is Sol, and I created the Living Narrative to show you how to quickly transform your story, because the story you tell becomes the life you live. And it's my mission to help you activate your gifts so that you can create juicy relationships and live a beautiful, inspired, and abundant life. So go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell button if you'd like to be notified every time I post a video. I've been facilitating rapid transformational therapy since 2016, and I've been helping people change their lives for almost 10 years. Everything from codependency, intimacy issues, to physical, IBS, and health challenges, to addiction and confidence, you name it. I've literally helped hundreds of people take quantum leaps in their life. I know what works, I know where people get stuck, and every single day I help people see what they need to see so they can finally move on and stop struggling. I'll quickly say here that these are my personal opinions and that I don't in any way represent Marissa Peer or Rapid Transformational Therapy. I did the RTT training live in person about 5 years ago. What I'm sharing with you is what I have learned works where people get stuck and how you can navigate getting the results that you're wanting. That being said, let's dive in. This is the first of a 3-part video series explaining the top 3 things that I think could be going on if you didn't get the results you expected from your RTT session. So go ahead and click the links in the description to see the other 2 videos once they're up. The first and main reason I think that some people will say RTT didn't work is because they didn't get their expected results in just one session. So as I explain in many of my other videos, I think it can be really misleading to say that you're going to completely cure something overnight that you've been struggling with for years and years. Yes, most of my clients get mind-blowing results in one session, but we still have ongoing support to help them integrate the changes into their life. And there's layers to things also, which you'll see in a moment when I share a story. We are complex beings, and many of us build fortresses in our minds of layered beliefs and opinions. And this is completely normal. It benefits us. Even the things that you don't want or like about yourself, there's a reason that they're there, which is why it makes RTT really powerful to understand that. In fact, it's actually quite empowering when you know how to use this to your advantage. It doesn't necessarily mean that RTT doesn't work. You might actually just need a little bit of extra support. Imagine you have a kink in your neck. This actually happened to me. So many years ago, I was in a car accident and my neck got all jammed up. I got whiplash and it was awful. I couldn't like turn my neck. It was like this. I was super stiff. And I went and I got a massage and I had, several appointments booked. After the first session, it actually didn't even feel better. It hurt worse after the first one. But, I didn't say, oh, it didn't work. I just went back for my, my next appointments. And eventually after I think 3 or 4 sessions, I actually started to feel a lot better. But also at home, I was doing stretches and breathing to help my body to heal. That being said, you do not need years and years of therapy to make changes in your life. I did this in my early 20s and it did not help just talking about the problem all the time. The quickest way and the easiest way to make changes in your life is to integrate and learn your soul lessons and integrate them with your subconscious and your conscious mind to rewrite your story so that you can quickly make changes in your life. Depending on how long you've been dealing with your issue that you're wanting to work on, your mind very likely has built a lot of barriers, limitations, stories, opinions, to defend your limitation, because to the mind, it's trying to protect you, but also to the mind, change is risky. And why would it want to put you in danger? It's actually trying to keep you safe. So I'm going to give you an example with somebody I worked with recently. Let's call her Rena. She was working at a very prestigious company and climbing the ranks. Now, she loves her work. She's very passionate about it, but she was completely exhausted when she came to me. Even though she worked really hard, she never felt like she actually deserved the success that she worked so hard to get. She felt like an imposter, but that wasn't the only place she was feeling like she didn't deserve what she had worked for. She also felt really disconnected from her body. She didn't feel beautiful, and she felt like something was missing from her life. In our first session together, I helped Rena see that growing up with parents who were fighting a lot before they got divorced caused Rena to always be reading for signs that somebody could be unhappy with her. Naturally, she's trying to protect herself. She was just a little girl. This is how she stayed out of her parents' fighting, how she kept herself safe. However, she carried this pattern into her adult life, into school, into her work, and this caused her to be constantly on edge about how other people were perceiving her and her work. Rena was always trying to please everyone, and she was constantly on high alert for everybody's reactions to her and her work. So in this first session, we had a really, really big healing and releasing moment where she finally was able to let go of decades of pent-up emotion and resentment. And she felt better. And although she felt something shift, she wasn't overnight suddenly, totally confident. In our following sessions, I helped her to see how she was living her life based on everyone else's definition and standard of success. She was disconnected from her own true North Star. And she was living her life based on what she thought she should do and what other people thought should make her successful. Her whole life, she had these goals she thought she should achieve. Living somebody else's life is totally exhausting. Rena started to feel more connected to herself, and she started to reassess what she actually wanted for her life. However, she still felt like things were a struggle. And it's hard to feel confident when everything feels like a struggle. Paying parking tickets, making doctor's appointments, returning phone calls, the simplest of things were still a struggle for her. And because she didn't give up, we kept working together. And that's when we uncovered that she had this belief that anything worthwhile or good in life takes hard work. She learned that it was irresponsible to rest or relax or for things to be easy. Irresponsible, right? And she prided herself on her work. Working hard was a measure of success for her. But this made everything that she wanted in her life incredibly effortful. Not only did this make her avoid simple tasks in her day-to-day life, like just normal adulting, this also made her pick up the hardest cases at work with very little recognition. She would pick up all the hard work that nobody else wanted to do because it made her feel kind of special and important, that she would do really, really hard things that other people couldn't, wouldn't, or didn't want to do. And this is where we had a massive breakthrough that changed the course of her life forever. Because as she was seeing that she was, bringing this hard work and effortfulness to all areas of her life, she was able to see how she was bringing it to our work together. She was so attached to this identity of anything worthwhile takes hard work. So her sessions had to be hard. They had to be like lugging up Mount Everest, and she would be exhausted after our sessions. Surprise, surprise. Most people feel amazing, light, joy after our sessions. And well, she did too after we cleared this pattern. Because once she saw how she was making things effortful because she was identifying with hard work and effort means I'm important, she was able to let that go. She says, I don't want to be important for that reason. I'm important for other reasons. I don't need to prove myself through doing all of the things that nobody else wants to do. And the good news is within the first few days after the session, she got all of her bills paid, all of her parking tickets, all of her appointments made, everything that was on this to-do list in the junk drawer in the kitchen, complete. And not only that, she was working on some really big cases at work, and some of the biggest projects that she had worked on in her entire career. And she was more relaxed and confident and trusting than ever before. Since that day, our sessions have been light and fun and easy, and she gets really big results every time. She's now completely reinventing herself. She's fallen in love with her body, and she feels beautiful and truly confident, like in her bones, confident. With permission to enjoy her life, she now can have big success, and it can be easy. Have you tried Rapid Transformational Therapy? Leave your questions about RTT in the comments. So as you can see with Rena, as with many of my clients, there are layers, especially when you've grown up in a culture that prides itself off of hard work, and you have to earn it, and things have to be difficult, otherwise they're not worthwhile. So there's layers to our issues, especially when it has to do with self-esteem and confidence and self-worth, and these layered, complex things that we identify with, that we tend to defend. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but to be honest, it's the really smart people who have very strong minds that tend to have the most resistance to change. In other words, the smarter you are, the more complex you might be making your problems, and the more reasons you might be creating to defend them. But as I mentioned, the good news is that when you get out of your own way, you can use the powerful gifts of your mind to do extraordinary things and create a deeply fulfilling and beautiful life. This is the first of a 3-part video series about what might be going on if you think your RTT session didn't work. So this video, just to recap, it basically is our issues are complex and layered. And so it might not be that your RTT session didn't work, but you might actually just need to keep digging. So I recommend you go back to your RTT therapist and have a chat with them. And after all, you've been probably collecting a lot of unhelpful opinions and beliefs for decades. So give yourself some space and some patience, and you might actually just want to come back around and take it deeper when you're ready. Depending on what you're working on, you might need support to integrate, or you might need more sessions. In the next video, I'll address not going deep enough during your session. If you're ready for a quantum leap, come to thelivingnarrative.com. You can find the link in the description below. Check out these videos to learn more about Rapid Transformational Therapy. Hit subscribe and click the bell button if you'd like to be notified every time that I post a video. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and also click the like button, and if you have any more questions about RTT, leave them in the comments. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.